what is the purpose of the human experience or the human existence of body, mind, and soul? This is my main question. But then before you answer that question, if you can, explain to me with words, really hard to do, but what is the mind, what is the body, and what is the soul?
Well, the mind, let me ask it backwards, which is, can you show me a mind devoid of thought?
No, of course not.
There's no mind, or we could say there's only one mind, but it's actually that mind is a construct. It's just something. When thoughts arise, you notice that thoughts arise, and they arise haphazardly. They just arise. I don't. If I could control my thoughts, then well, actually, I am happy pretty much all the time. But if I had controlled my thoughts, I would have been happy instead of miserable. But I couldn't control them, and I still can't. But what I can tell you is that this so-called mind that generates these thoughts, notice that there's no Valeria and there's no Fred. So so these thoughts that arise, they're not Valerias and they're not Freds. They're just thoughts. In the same way, but we think there's something central. Mind is just like that Hurricane Fred. So we think there's something central, but imagine it was a hot day, you and I are walking down the street, and it's just rained, and it's beginning to mist and everything, the steam is coming up. And you would think I was crazy if I looked at you and went, "Hey, Valeria, what do you think of my steam?" And because no one's doing the steam, it's just happening. It's just conditioning rising to meet conditioning. So it's nobody's steam and it's nobody's thoughts. There are thoughts that arise, but none of them are true. So what is the body? The body is an illusion just like everything else, but it's a pleasant illusion. I mean, can be, or it can be very unpleasant if it's dying of cancer. In the end, the bodies come and go, but you do not. You were never born. You are the unborn. You were never born, and you can never die. No possible way. So what happens is that there is an opposite to birth, which is called death. But you are life itself, and there is no opposite to life. There's no after-death experience because you can't die. I know nothing of soul. I see no soul. I experience no soul. I understand it as a way of speaking.
We are talking about the spirit because some people claim to have talked to their dead fathers, mothers, dead people.
I will tell you that anything can happen in the dream.
Okay.
But in order for me to talk to my dead dad, there's got to be a me, and there's got to be something else. It's duality.
Right.
And duality, there are no rules here.
Right.
It can be any kind of experience within duality. And they can be charming, or they can be scary, or they can be fascinating. And I think, it's because what we're talking about is not in the dream or of the dream. What we're talking about is that which is prior to the dream. Because you can notice that there's this sense of being here right now. There's a sense of existence, but we cannot find an owner to it. There's no little Fred inside this body.
So true.
And there's no actual soul in this body as I would speak of it. In other words, I would speak of it non-dually. Dualistic terms, there can be souls and devils and everything else. He experiences duality, but duality cannot actually experience itself because there's nothing to experience it but itself. Right. There's no over there when you're oneness.
So would you attempt to answer the question about the purpose of the human experience, the human existence?
Your life's purpose is whatever you find yourself doing right now. That's your life's purpose. What is the meaning behind it? whatever meaning you assign to it. Because what I'm telling you is that in a world where it's all illusion, and we have to be very careful here, because this is like a razor's edge that many people get caught on, because they have a non-dual awakening, and then they see, oh, it's all empty, there's nothing here, oh, there's no meaning, there's no purpose, there's no, and life becomes very dry, and units get depressed and all of that. But see, it's not that non-duality is not difficult. It's very, very simple. Jesus said that if you want to enter heaven, you must be as the little children. And that's what this teaching does, is it helps big, smart people get not so smart for a little while, so that they don't understand things, and teach them that they can't understand this. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no way to understand it. It just is.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And it's beyond understanding. It's beyond right or wrong. It's beyond good or bad. There's what is. And see, but we don't spend any time in what is. We spend all our time in our thoughts, where we're thinking about what we think about what is. If I'm a body, I call them units. But if I'm a body and I'm out in the yard and it starts to rain, and I say, oh, it shouldn't be raining, you are looking at an insane unit.
That's fun, Fred. Oh, yeah, Fred.
Trying to live in a world where there is. We come to align ourselves with it, and we come to see, now there may be a good relative move there, which is to step onto the porch. So now it should be raining, but I shouldn't be being rained on. How do I know I'm not being?
Yeah, that's right.